we got to know, because we saw the funny guy. We saw the funny guy. For the two of you, what an interesting human experience this must be.
Well, yeah, because he was human and he was our dad, and it's amazing to see, and to see it through the eyes of other people who, you know, admire him and love him just as much as we do.
Why now, Chris? Why is this the time?
I think for our family, we were at a place where we were ready to share more, and I think we had a better understanding of what he was going through. There was all types of psychological stuff that we kind of had to understand about him, and then if we were going to ever entrust anybody to tell that story, we wanted to make sure we had an understanding of what was going on, and it was just the perfect timing for it. Yes, it's a little late, but
Better late than never.
we thought the True Hollywood story would be enough, but
But also, is there an element of this that you're holding on to a story, and releasing a film like this now it's a significant moment in a family's history?
yeah, it very much feels like a swan song and a very beautiful goodbye to our dad. And this is, you know, the one last great John Candy film that he gets to star in. So we're really happy about that.
Did you meet John on Splash?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. No, I have very, very vivid memories of meeting John. In fact, one of the first times I remember being on a film set was on Splash. Was John, my dad, and Eugene with the arm and the cast and the neck brace.
Oh, good.
And so I have very vivid memories of John. And in fact, you know, I have a handful of them because he was around for a few years there between Splash and Volunteers, and I remember exchanges that I had with him, and I don't remember a lot of exchanges that I had. Macaulay Culkin sort of speaks to it in the film, but he had this way of, even if you were a young kid, he made you feel important. He made you feel special, and John made everyone feel that way,
Yeah.
for whether it was a director or a co-star or just someone on the street. And so just that even little personal connection I had was sort of unique enough that I remember going like, oh yeah, that's right, I had that same experience.
There's a really powerful moment where Macaulay Culkin talks about how his father had turned into a bit of a monster, and John was one of the first ones to recognize it.
I was on a Zoom with Macaulay before he'd done the interview, and we were just kind of, it was an informal pre-interview, but it wasn't even a pre-interview. We were just talking, and he said, there's moments in the movie, where, John he'd come to set, and John would say, "How you doing?" And Macaulay would say, "I'm fine, I'm good." And John would stop him and really say, no, this is a lot. How you doing? How are you? How are you handling this? And he just felt so seen by John in those moments, and you could really see John, the dad, John, the thing that you both experienced, you had the benefit of, and that was taken from you at a very young age, which sort of, to me, compounds the tragedy of the loss. Yeah.
There was a blend within our dad, I think, where we very much felt how important he was in the entertainment world and how big his
All right, how cool is this?
was,
We're listening to the son of John Candy. Prior to that, the producer, Ryan Reynolds, and also the director, Colin Hanks, of this film, John Candy, I Like Me, which is going to make its debut at TIFF. It's the opening movie. And how exciting is that to actually see this interview already as TIFF has just begun?